USC head football coach Clay Helton will stay for 5 more years.
Protesters gathered outside the LAC-USC Medical Center demanding medical spaces for undocumented immigrants.
And a first, SpaceX successfully launches the world's most powerful rocket.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
On the eve of its biggest recruiting day, USC made a big announcement about Coach Clay Helton. Good evening, I'm Hamda Salhoud.
And I'm Tommy Brooksbank. Our sports anchor Jody Storm Sullivan has more on the story. Jody?
Thanks, Tommy. USC football head coach Clay Helton just had his contract extended through the 2023 season. Athletic Director Lynn Swan praised Helton's time here at USC. Quote, Helton has shown that he can lead our team with integrity and stability and that he has the ability to win conference and national championships. I am happy with the job Clay has done so far. He has made good progress and is moving our program forward. Helton is the first USC coach in USC history to pick up 10 wins in each of his first 2 full seasons. He has a 27-10 record overall with 9 wins over top 25 ranked teams, and he's yet to lose at home as head coach. He also brought back the Pac-12 conference title to USC, and Helton led the Trojans to a 2017 Rose Bowl victory. Helton will look to open the 2018 campaign with his 17th straight win at home as they host UNLV at the newly renamed United Airlines Memorial Coliseum. Tommy, back to you.
Thanks, Jody. A group of doctors and activists gathered today in Boyle Heights to show their support for young immigrants. Annenberg Media's Cole Sullivan was there and spoke with one dreamer. Cole?
That's right, Tommy. They also want Congress to pass an immigration bill. That topic has become one of the most partisan in Washington. But for the people I spoke with, it's not a political issue. It's their livelihoods at stake. One day, Manuel wants to be a doctor.
I'm looking to become a pediatric surgeon once I go to med school.
But he's worried he might never get the chance.
You know, that dream of mine and the dream of the other 800,000 DACA recipients, it may not become a reality.
He didn't want to give his last name because he's a dreamer. And unless Congress reaches an immigration deal, his undocumented status will expire. And Manuel could be deported.
I don't want them to categorize us as criminals.
Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here.
Today, a group of advocates and doctors gathered at the LA County USC Medical Center to support dreamers like Manuel. Doctors say fear of deportation is keeping sick people from getting help.
We started seeing a fear of people in our own community coming to our own hospital.
Dr. Aslam Khan says fewer parents have been bringing their sick kids to doctor's appointments.
One of the moms said there's an ICE raid happening 2 blocks down from your hospital.
The increased and harsh immigration enforcement tactics that we're seeing from the Trump administration is just increasing the level of fear.
Dr. Niels Frenzen runs USC's immigration clinic. He says people shouldn't be afraid of going to the hospital.
It certainly is safe for an undocumented person or a person from a mixed family to access healthcare services.
But while it might be safe to go to the ER, he's not confident Congress will reach a long-term deal that could put that fear to rest.
I'm incredibly pessimistic.
But Manuel says he's not ready to give up.
Because honestly, at the end of the day, we're still going to keep fighting.
Now, a deal for dreamers like Manuel is one of the key issues Congress is debating as part of a bill to avoid a government shutdown. For more on that political angle, let's go to our political anchor, Nayanika Kapoor.
Thanks, Cole. The House just passed a spending bill designed to avert a government shutdown on Thursday, but the bill is not expected to pass the Senate without major changes. The current deal avoids any reference to immigration, but today President Trump made some inflammatory statements about a potential shutdown.
I can't speak for everybody at the table, but I will tell you, I would shut it down over this issue. If we don't straighten out our border, we don't have a country. Without borders, we don't have a country. So would I shut it down over this issue? Yes. I can't speak for our great representatives here, but I have a feeling they may agree with me.
Lawmakers have been optimistic about the deal. Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer says that they were closer than ever before, but Trump's statements and tweets indicate the president is not as willing to negotiate. President Trump tweeted this morning that, quote, polling shows that nearly 7 in 10 Americans support an immigration reform package that includes DACA, fully secures the border, ends chain migration, and cancels the visa lottery. If Ds oppose this deal, they aren't serious about DACA. They just want open borders. John Kelly, White House Chief of Staff, told reporters some would say the undocumented immigrants didn't sign up for DACA because they were too afraid or too lazy. In order to avoid another government shutdown, all sides will have to come to an agreement by midnight on Thursday.
The stock market was bullish today after yesterday's record decline. The Dow plummeted by 1,175 points yesterday in the index's biggest single-day point decline ever. Today, the Dow rose nearly 570 points, closing at just under 25,000. This is one of the largest single-day point gains in history for the index. The Nasdaq rose about 150 points to 7,116. We spoke to one student investor about the Dow's wild ride.
The last couple of hours have been really interesting, in particular because maybe what we've seen is that investors aren't fully ready to see this correction take place. I'm of the opinion it might be starting to get a little speculative, so I'm starting to sell and looking at other opportunities here.
Stock markets in Japan, Hong Kong, and London all ended the day with losses. One student investor I spoke to says she expects to see a long overdue correction in U.S. stocks.
2 people are dead and over 200 injured after a 6.4 earthquake hit the east coast of Taiwan. Rescuers are still searching for people trapped in collapsed buildings. The epicenter of the quake was in the northeast coast near Hualien County, where 5.1 aftershock hit soon after the initial tremor. Cell phone videos from Hualien City show residents running out of their homes and businesses as large buildings bend in the background. The death toll is expected to rise.
Elon Musk is known for his groundbreaking developments in the world of technology. Now, he's ready to take it one step further by sending a rocket into outer space. Annenberg Media's Max Goldwasser watched the launch with some USC students.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Elon Musk's latest experiment is out of this world. After a 2.5-hour weather delay, SpaceX successfully launched the Falcon Heavy from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rocket is headed straight for Mars as a part of Musk's ultimate vision for humans to live on both Earth and Mars.
It's incredible. It's kind of weird to be living in the future, you know? This is like some Buck Rogers stuff that I only saw in sci-fi until now.
Adam Itemesian was one of 17 people in the rocket propulsion laboratory here at USC who gathered to watch the launch. It's the first time a rocket this powerful was sent into space by a commercial company rather than a government agency.
You know, it's not just that they launched a new rocket, it's that it's really pushing the boundaries for what rocket technology can do, and that means an extension for what we can do in space.
This is the rocket that the Rocket Propulsion Lab plans on sending off into space in March. It spans around 13 feet long and releases about 4,000 pounds of thrust at liftoff. To put things into perspective for you, SpaceX says the Falcon Heavy spans around 230 feet long and releases about 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, making it the world's most powerful rocket. The Falcon Heavy is traveling in style too. SpaceX fit a cherry red Tesla on board the rocket with David Bowie's song Life on Mars playing in the background. For Annenberg Media, I'm Max Goldwasser.
A recycling program plagued with service problems has many LA building owners and tenants angry. I spent the day finding out what changes are being proposed for the program. Overflowing bins, missed pickups, and skyrocketing bills. The 6-month-old Recycler program has many building owners across Los Angeles frustrated.
Most buildings have tripled and quadrupled. One of my buildings has sextupled in pricing. We used to pay on the average of $800 per month. We're paying $3,400 now.
When LA city leaders passed Recycler last summer, it required apartment owners to offer recycling collection for tenants. The program had high-profile sponsors like Mayor Eric Garcetti and several nonprofits, but some lawmakers say recycling has only become more difficult.
I think that there is plenty of blame to go around. It became apparent within a couple of months that we have big problems. And although I feel that all parties are kind of working on making it better, It's not enough.
The program uses these huge dumpsters to collect as much plastic as possible. It's not enough though. This dumpster won't be collected for another week, and it's already almost overfilling.
The city will be best off putting their hands out of the whole program than trying to improve something that was working fine, because now it's not working.
Building owners are worried about the impact the program is having on their tenants.
We don't have an ability to take the trash away if our waste hauling company doesn't pick it up. So it is both a visual blight and a health and safety concern for our tenants and for us.
Councilman O'Farrell says the policy changes discussed today will hopefully solve the spotty service and high recycling fees. If the collection problem is not fixed within the next 2 months, City Hall will revisit the issue.
The Santa Anas are staying longer than usual, causing a wind advisory to go into effect tonight.
And big news in the music industry, Best Buy announced it will no longer be selling CDs.
Donation meters will soon be installed in the city of LA to collect money for the homeless.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back to ATVN. More parking meters will be popping up around downtown Los Angeles. But Annenberg Media's Leslie Ambrose tells us instead of collecting money for parking, they'll be collecting money for the homeless.
These bright orange meters can be seen all around Pasadena, and soon they'll be in downtown Los Angeles, specifically Grand Park. They may look like parking meters, but actually they are collecting donations for the homeless. Pedestrians can contribute with a coin or credit card. The money goes to various housing and homeless organizations throughout the city. The Real Change movement says the meters have raised over $8,000 in funds and helped 20 individuals gain permanent housing since 2014.
Most of the individuals don't have anything when they move into an unfurnished apartment. So there is a need for these flexible, smaller amounts of flexible dollars that actually help to make the larger assistance, which is the monthly rental assistance, actually usable.
The number of homeless individuals has risen to 55,000 from 32,000 in the last 6 years. That's a 75% surge, but it's donation meters like this one that could assist the city towards progress in bringing down those numbers. Residents like Mackenzie Amon say they can give confidently to a meter instead of someone alongside a freeway exit.
I know where it's going, and I'm not accidentally supporting a drug habit or possibly alcohol abuse.
Others, like Louise Moore, says she will use the meters and also give money to individuals.
Well, I actually like giving people money. My own personal criteria is that they be polite and not appear to be addicted.
Downtown Los Angeles residents will have their chance at donating to Real Change beginning Thursday, February 7th, when the first meter is unveiled in Grand Park. For Annenberg Media, I'm Leslie Ambrose.
Our thanks to Leslie for that report. Apparently, Los Angeles drivers are not taking the road less traveled. LA is the worst city for gridlock for the 6th year in a row. That's according to a traffic analytics company, INRIX. The report analyzed over 1,300 cities in 38 countries around the world. According to INRIX, Angelenos spent an average of 102 hours in traffic jams last year, costing drivers almost $3,000 each and racking up over $19 million in costs for the city. Los Angeles is not the only U.S. city on this report. 3 of the top 5 cities in the world with the most gridlock were in the U.S. New York tied with Moscow for number 2, and San Francisco is number 5. On a global scale, Thailand topped the list of countries with the most traffic. Well, I was in City Hall for most of the day, but it was a nice hot day today.
It was. It was pretty humid on my walk to class. Let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Paula Ilanze, for more. Paula, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Hamda. So, as they said, it was a really nice day today. In the mid-70s, not too high in temperature, but very high in humidity. Got me feeling quite like I'm back on the East Coast. And then for tomorrow, things will cool down quite considerably. I'm sorry. So it'll be 81 in the desert, nice and dry, and 83 in Riverside. And then over in Thousand Oaks, we'll see that it's going to be 82 and cooler in Malibu at 73. If we bring it on back to the USC area, it'll be 82 and 85 in Anaheim. Things quite cooler in LAX at 75. And then for the 5-day forecast, things will stay nice and warm and sunny all throughout the week. And then things cool down a lot until the weekend. And things will be very foggy on Sunday morning at 73. Hot, dry deserts. Hot, dry desert winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour may hit the LA area starting this evening. The National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory from 10 p.m. until 2 p.m. tomorrow. These Santa Ana winds will be strongest in the mountains and western San Fernando Valley. The fear is these winds could spark another wildfire. Drivers are advised to use extra caution.
I'll have to remember to close my window tonight.
Yeah.
Definitely keep out those strong winds.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thanks for that, Paula.
Thanks.
Best Buy announced it will stop selling CDs after July 1st. Annenberg Media's Anissa Claiborne shows us how this will impact the music world.
Best Buy's decision to stop selling CDs this summer comes after last year's 18.5% sales drop in CDs.
I feel like it makes sense, so I'm not too surprised.
USC's director of popular music says that people were bound to get tired of CDs.
With a CD, if there was one song on the CD that you liked, you had to buy the entire CD. Along comes streaming, independent downloading, and now the consumer doesn't have to do that any longer.
Amoeba Music is the largest independent music store in the world. The manager says online music platforms have affected their sales, but he believes CDs and vinyl are important.
I feel like music is a physical thing that is made by people in a room making vibrations together, and you need a place like this where you can kind of be with other people and have the music there with you kind of in a physical way.
Although many businesses have decided to shy away from selling CDs, Amoeba Music says they will continue to sell their classics. USC student and music director of KXSC says fewer CDs won't affect the variety of music, but the technical quality won't be as high.
What it will hold us back in terms of, and this is from a purely technical standpoint, I take personal interest in this because I am a computer science major, the high quality preservation of those digital files that are on the CDs is something of importance.
It's unclear if stores like Target will follow the lead of Best Buy, but it seems that many music lovers are choosing convenience over quality. For Annenberg Media, I'm Anissa Claiborne.
Hey, Tommy, were you able to make it to the women's basketball game last night?
You know, unfortunately not. I really wanted to make the game, but I wasn't able to make it out there. Jody has the update for us. What can you tell us?
I do. Well, I can tell you that the women of Troy battled it out against their crosstown rivals at the Galen Center. And as for the men's team, our sports correspondent Angel Viscara had a chance to sit down with one of their star players. And 2 former Trojans are continuing to be recognized for their achievements. Sports are next.
You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. 6 Trojans have been selected for the 2018 NFL Combine taking place later this month. 4 offensive players and 2 defensive players round out the class, tied for the most from any school in the Pac-12. Running back Ronald Jones II will leave a big hole in USC's offensive power. The junior back dominated while at USC, racking up just over 3,600 yards to be the 5th all-time for the Trojans. In addition to Jones, Sam Darnold, Deontay Burnett, Stephen Mitchell Jr., Uchenna Nwosu, and Rasheem Green finish out the invite group. Noticeably missing from the Combine invite is safety Chris Hawkins. Hawkins put up 88 tackles, 6.5 for loss in his senior season. He'll have a chance to impress draft scouts at the USC Pro Day later on this semester. And since tomorrow is National Signing Day, USC's football class of 2018 will round itself out. While the Trojans picked up 10 recruits on last year's early signing day, they'll look to finish a couple more concrete recruits tomorrow afternoon. They have 3 hard commits heading into National Signing Day: Amon-Ra St. Brown, JT Daniels, and Trevor Trout. The 3 highly touted recruits will make their commitments official tomorrow. You can follow USC's complete 2018 class with our full coverage on Sports Scene tomorrow afternoon on our USC Annenberg Media Facebook stream. And while the USC's men's basketball team had their win streak snapped by UCLA, the Trojans are looking to bounce back on their road trip out to the desert.
They have excellent guards. They really spread the floor. Tremendous range on the three-point shooting and a lot of quickness and speed. So we'll have to defend them and take the three-point line away. Aiden's extremely talented and long, 7'1" with some skill, and Cheer's been experienced. He's a junior when he averages 22, 23 points a game.
I'm joined now by sports correspondent Angel Vizcarra, who had a chance to sit down with Elijah Stewart. You know, Angel, what'd you learn from him today?
Yeah, it was a great conversation. Elijah Stewart, probably one of the most colorful personalities, as you guys will see right now. But you see it here. 3 Elijah Stewart, one of the best three-point shooters in USC basketball history. Really an honor to sit down with him today. And I mentioned that UCLA game, obviously a close one, came down to the last moments. What are the conversations in the locker room like following that?
We just saw some of the defense possessions we could have done better. Some of our shot selections were off towards the end, and we just learned from that experience, and hopefully we'll get next time.
Coach Enfield has told me when you're making shots, especially from three-point range, things are usually probably going well for this team. A lot of people see you as the kickstarter for the offense. Do you feel like that's kind of your role, getting things going momentum-wise?
I know they just feed off me sometimes because I play basketball the correct way. I'm not going to force a shot. I try to facilitate now a little bit when I can, and they know if I got an open look, it's probably going in.
And going forward, looking at this week, a couple of matches with Arizona State and Arizona, do you feel like this is really a weekend where you guys, as a ball club, can make a statement, especially maybe in that Arizona ball game?
Yes, of course. Our last stretch of the season is going to be a tough one. We have a lot of hard road games, but we're prepared to go in and try to get a few sweeps and steal some on the road.
So to steal some on the road, what's the big key to match up against these Arizona schools?
Well, a guy like Elijah Stewart's going to be at the center of that for the Trojans. As we mentioned, USC did come away with a loss this past weekend at UCLA, but they're still second in the conference standings, and the conference leaders are right here, the Arizona Wildcats. The Trojans are going to need to come away with wins in both of these games if they want to stay at the top of the conference.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Angel. And moving on over to the women's side of the basketball court, they fell last night to the Bruins at Galen Center 84-70 for the second time in 4 days. But despite the loss, Aaliyah Mazik led everyone on the court, dropping 21 points on the Bruins. Kristen Simon added 12 points of her own and a team-high 5 rebounds. Later tonight, former USC beach volleyball players Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays will be honored as LA Sportswomen of the Year. The duo led USC to 3 consecutive national titles and were named as the #1 pair on the NCAA All-Tournament team. As Trojans, Hughes and Kelly will have a lasting impact on USC. They wrapped up their senior seasons with a 55-1 overall record for an all-time record of 147-4 over 3 years, setting a national record of 103 consecutive wins. Last September, they were the youngest pair to ever win an AVP tournament, and now playing together professionally, they're working to qualify for the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo.
103 consecutive wins? Are you kidding me? That's such an incredible feat.
Well, thanks for that, Jody.
All right, well, USC candidates face off one last time tonight in a town hall meeting.
And today is National Frozen Yogurt Day, and we'll tell you where you can get your free treat.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
You want to step out of the vehicle for me?
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Tonight is the second and final USG presidential debate. The focus of tonight's town hall is diversity and inclusion at USC. This is the candidates' last chance to speak to students before voting opens next week. The Inclusion Town Hall will begin at 7:45 tonight at Wallace-Annenberg Hall. It will be moderated by Annenberg Media's Aton Wallace. You can send your questions for the candidates via Facebook Messenger to Annenberg Media.
Here's a good excuse for a treat today. It's National Frozen Yogurt Day. Chains across the country are celebrating with sweet savings, including our local Yogurtland just off campus. Yogurtland is offering customers a free 5-ounce cup of Froyo with unlimited toppings today between 4 and 7 p.m. They were also introducing 2 new flavors, Kit Kat and Whoppers.
I don't know about you guys, but you know where to find me after the show, definitely.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Hamda Salhoud.
And I'm Tommy Brooksbank. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.